All right, we have just finished our coloring. I was showing you color holds and full spectrum color. And once you have posted that as assignment 5, you are done. All you need is your sketch, your clean line art, and then whatever coloring solution you choose. Then you are ready to start assignment 6. So to get information about assignment 6, we're going to go to unit modules. We're going to scroll down past spot illustration to type design. And assignment 6 is where we use your spot illustration, but we turn it into a full poster, a full campaign. Something like you would do for marketing, to advertise something, or to make people know about an event. So you take your graphic that you just created, and you decide what kind of text is going to go with it. And the kind of text that's going to go with it is completely up to you. Then we're going to do what's called a type blocking sketch, where you figure out how would that text look good around your image. And then we're going to create that as clean black type, as vector shapes, add color to that, and then put a background behind it to turn it into a poster. So here are some different past examples. Some will have complicated type, some will have very simple type. The thing about type design is that it's not so much that it's readable. It of course has to be readable. And it's not so much what typeface you might want to use, because you're allowed to modify an existing typeface for this or create your own. It's about the finer details of type design. This would be the same if you were making a logo type. So for instance, Stranger Things, the official type, logo type for it, uses this standard typeface. But then it plays with what's called the kerning. It plays with the size of the first letter. It plays with the sizes of the first letters for things as well. And then it plays with the kerning and creates overlaps where they connect. It creates places where they're very, very close in tangency, like the G even has to flatten out, because it makes it feel stressful. And that works for the title design. And then they add effects and color. And then that title design gets added with the illustration onto a background to create a poster. Some type designers do a lot of different text blocking solutions before they come up with their final vector type. Others are more freeform with it, but the type always has to work with the imagery. Whether the type is hand done or whether it's modified from existing typefaces. And so for this project, you're going to create black type, color type, and then a full poster with a background, border, and spot illustration. So the first thing I need to do is figure out what text do I want to go with my little cartoon mascot. And what I'm going to use is this text that I just kind of scribbled. I'll pass it around. It's the one on top. That's what's called a blocking sketch. And I have it in my assignment 6 folder already. So I have lots of inspirations of these kind of breakfast cereals, which are combinations of spot illustration with type design, put onto usually just a flat colored background, right? So what is my breakfast cereal going to be called? I'm going to call it Nighthawks. So my Nighthawks, I'm thinking I want it to be kind of this cursive-y type. But when you do type blocking, what you're really doing is you're creating the shape of the type. You don't even need to do the individual letters at first. So how can we create a type blocking? What I'm going to do is go into Photopea, and I am not going to use my full PSD. Instead, I'm going to go back to my assignment 5, the one I posted to Canvas, And I'm just going to go to one of my spot illustrations, one of my PNG solutions. I'm going to open that in Photopea, just the PNG, the free floating. Make sure that your canvas size, your image size, is 16 by 20 inches. And then immediately, I'm going to create a background that's filled with white. Put it behind my spot illustration. And then I'm going to play with my spot illustration with Option Command T. And I'm going to shrink it and maybe tilt it. Remember, this is going to be for a breakfast cereal. So I want to leave room for my type. This is my cereal box. And then I'm going to create a new layer, lock my other layers. And this is going to be what's called my type blocking or text blocking sketch. And all I'm going to do is take my brush tool, and I'm just going to kind of paint in the area that I want my type to fill. Whatever kind of shape that might be. So to look at the assignment, you'll see that under the examples. Right? What block of shape do you want the text to take up? And then we'll fill it with the design type. And I'll be showing you that in videos for our work from home day on Monday. Okay, I've already kind of sketched out how I want my type to look. Whether I design that fully, just like I did my line art, or whether I modify an existing typeface. I'm going to try to do it by modifying an existing typeface, but that might be tricky for this. But at this point, I can play with warping it and fitting it into that text block that works best with my illustration. And then I was thinking it would be fun to not only have the title like that. Here, let's move this down a little bit. Set this to multiply. Right? Maybe tilt it a little. Whoops. Option Command T, not just Command T. But I thought it might also be fun to have a little like icon that goes with it, because that can sometimes be part of type design too. So I'm going to make a duplicate, Command J, and the little icon I thought would be this star, right? That would go right above the A and the W for Hawks, kind of fill in that space. So let me duplicate that and show all that together. So this is what I was thinking my breakfast cereal might look like. And now I got to design that type to look just as clean as my spot illustration. I take all of that, just move it down a little. And just play with the spacing. So you want to have that all figured out before you start designing your type. So I'm going to post this. I'm going to erase out this stuff. So it's pretty clear. And this is going to be my text blocking sketch. This is kind of the first step. It's not even a requirement of the assignment, but it's very, very helpful in thinking how you're going to go about it. Now, I also want to remember that to finish it up, my assignment is not just going to be a white background. I have to choose some sort of background. Come on. So maybe instead of a solid color, which is pretty boring, I might choose something like a gradient. And Photopea's got to keep up with me here. Come on. Gradient tool. And I'm going to use a box that's just a little bit inside my parameters here. Maybe I even have the heels of my character go beyond the border. And then I'm just going to fill it with my gradient tool. Something really garish. Got to be on the right layer. like that. Maybe I reverse it. And I'll take that opacity down a little bit. And so maybe this is what I'm thinking of as my finished poster design once I tweak these. So this is going to be my text blocking sketch. Because your finished poster will have type, your spot illustration, a background, and a border. And then I can immediately post that right into assignment 6 to acknowledge the deadline, which is the next class we meet. And Monday is a work day on it, and I hope you get a chance to see the solar eclipse. So I can take that text blocking sketch, there it is, and just throw it in there. And I'll be posting videos about how we can make our own type design by modifying existing typefaces. And I find those with this great site called defont.com. And I doubt that there's a breakfast cereal one, but I can try. That would be too easy. Yep. But maybe if I just look for a cereal. Yeah, here we go. That's a pretty good one. Super cereal. So now what I can do is I can put my text in. I'm going to do it all in capitals just to see. Submit and see what that looks like in super serial. Maybe try uppercase and lowercase. Yeah. I don't like the G. There's things I'll definitely have to modify about it, but that might get me started. So I'm going to do a screen grab of this because we actually don't have administrative privileges to install typefaces on the computer, but it doesn't really matter because we have the full ability to turn them into vectors. And then I might post that. Okay, and then that's it. Now we're going to do our really quick presentation critique of assignment 5. Now that you know how to start thinking about assignment 6. All right. So,